There's one mistake that we all seem to make that makes it nearly impossible to manifest abundance. And today I'm going to show you how to spot this mistake and knock it out. Coming up. There's a story, you probably have heard this, about a man who's stuck on his roof in the middle of the flood. And as the flood waters are rising, he's praying to God to come and rescue him. Now, as he's sitting there praying, someone comes along in a rowboat and says, "Hey, hop on in. I'll take you to safety." And he dismisses him, says, No. You go ahead. I'm waiting for God to save me. I have faith in God." Now, as he continues praying and the waters continue rising, along comes a motorboat. Says, "Hey, jump in. I'll take you to safety." And again, he dismisses him. Says, No. I have faith that God is going to come and rescue me. Go on ahead. I'll be okay. And as he continues praying and the waters continue rising, along comes a helicopter. It lowers down a rope. And the guy shouts down, "Climb up the rope. We'll take you to safety." He says, No. Go ahead. Save someone else. God will save me. And so he dismisses the helicopter. And he continues praying, and the waters continue rising until they rise above his head, and inevitably he drowns. And when he gets to heaven, he confronts God and says, "Hey, why didn't you come and save me?" And God says, "What are you talking about? I sent a rowboat, I sent a motorboat, and I sent a helicopter. And you just rejected them all." Now, this story really mirrors a misconception that we have when it comes to manifesting abundance. Because, likewise, we had this idealistic view of how it's supposed to come to us. That we're just going to sit and get quiet, meditate, clear our mind, release, and the divine universe is just going to dump this abundance right into our lap. Now, it could happen this way, but it could happen many other ways, and we often reject these other ways. And just like the guy on the roof who has a helicopter come, it lowers a rope, it's like, well, that'll take work to climb up that rope. I don't want to work for it. I'd rather have God just come and lift me up and carry me away. And that's our attitude. The same with manifesting abundance. I don't want to have to work for it. I don't have to take some sort of action. I have faith that some divine intervention will come along and do it for me, because I certainly don't want to do it. And Lester, with all of his talks about how the mind is creative, how you can manifest anything just by holding in mind exactly what you want, he didn't exclude any other things happening that you can take advantage of, that you can participate in and create what it is that you want. It isn't necessarily just sitting and having it fall right into your lap. See, even one of his most popular talks about conscious creation, goals, and manifestation, where he's working with a group of graduates, talking to them. And he's talking to one in particular, someone named Michael Aronin, who in this recording, you hear Lester talk about all of Michael's gains. He said, "You set a goal to become a millionaire, and you did. You set a goal to be in a Hollywood movie, and you did. You set a goal to have a beautiful wife, and you did. And you did this, and you had a home in the Hamptons, and blah, 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 blah." Right? I know a lot of you have listened to this. If you haven't, it's really enlightening. I'll put a link to it right here. The thing is in Michael's case, when he manifested the millions, see, Michael was a budding salesman at the time, and it was Lester that pointed out to him, "Hey, this thing that you're getting into, you can make a lot of money doing that." And Michael hadn't considered that. To him, it was like a sales job. He goes, "Oh, I could be a millionaire doing this." So he opened up his sights to what he could accomplish from Lester's suggestion, and he took action and he carried it through. And there were many times that Lester would point out to various graduates, he would tell them, hey, you could invest in this property, or you could do that. And that would be very beneficial to you. And if they didn't listen to him, maybe he would repeat it a second time. But if they still didn't listen to him, he would just dismiss it. Okay, well, if they don't want to do it, they don't want to do it. I won't bug them about it. But Lester pointed out opportunities that we often dismiss because, I don't want to take action, or we have this idealistic vision about what it means to manifest something. And because of this idea that we have in our head, we often get stuck and we miss opportunities that are staring us right in the face. And opportunities that, even if they might not seem like a big thing, we could actually turn them into a big thing by using them and by focusing ourselves to be creative with these opportunities. And the way that we do that, and the way that we do it from a spiritual perspective, and the way that we do it by using releasing, is taking an opportunity and releasing on it. See, those of you who are familiar with the coursework that we do, the deeper work, not just the bit of releasing that we do here on the channel, which is great, but it's only scratching the surface. When we go deeper into this work, we dig into our subconscious thoughts and feelings, all the noise that we have in our mind. And any subject, what we have to any subject, whether it's an opportunity or if it's our mother, we have attachments to that subject and we have aversions to that subject. And we can all relate to this. Like when it comes to our mother, right? We have attachments to her, but we also have aversions to her, especially when she comes over for the holidays, right? Comes over and scolds us about how we're keeping up our house and all that. And when it comes to opportunities, we have attachment to opportunities. Like part of us wants to do it. Part of us is hopeful. Part of us gets excited about it. But we also have aversions to those opportunities. We think, that could be risky, or it could be a lot of work, or I could do it and I could fail and waste a lot of time. And so with all this noise swirling around with our head, on the attachment and the aversion side, it's like a pushing and pulling. It's constantly keeping us, at odds with ourselves. And with these pushing and pulling forces, we can't see things clearly. So this is where we do the deeper work, where we sit down and we get proactive with releasing. We dig into our subconscious thoughts and we look at them and release them on the attachment side and the aversion side. And when we do that, we do it until we are imperturbable on both sides, where we really are free to go left and we're free to go right. And it's okay with us either way. And in that state, our mind is clear. And when our mind is clear, there's no noise going on in it, we can look at that opportunity and we just know. It's like an intuitive, instinctual knowing. Hey, I can make something of this. I can do this. Or we could say, nah, I'm not interested in it. But it's okay either way. We know. And this is a better way to manifest, and a more reliable way to manifest, because we're using the opportunities in the world. We're not dismissing them. We're not sticking with some ideology, some fantastical thinking about, what manifestation is all about. Because look at what we're doing. We're going in our head. We're trying to figure it out. And our mind doesn't know. Our mind doesn't know anything about manifestation. Our mind doesn't know anything about freedom. So we got to look beyond our mind to the part of us that does know, because there is a part of us that does know. It's very easy to access. And this is what we'll work on today. Just getting in touch with the part of us that does know. And if you want to get into the deeper work, I'll put a link to a course that'll show you how to use attachments and aversions to get crystal clear. And you could use it on any opportunity. So you can get 100% behind doing it. And when you're 100% behind doing it, guess what? You got no resistance. You got no blocks and no effort in taking action and doing it. It's a super easy and reliable way to get things done and to manifest abundance. And it's very practical. Or you can decide not to do it, and guess what? You're still clear. And you're still in the position to create the abundance, no matter which vehicle you use to create it. So again, if you haven't yet, check out that course. It's called the 21-Day Mastering Your Fate course. It'll show you everything that you need to know how to do that. But let's take a simple step and get in touch with that all-knowingness that we have within us right now. Now, take a look at a goal of yours to have abundance, to be wealthy, or just to be well enough off where you don't have to worry about how much money is you're going to have coming in next month. And you might have some opportunities, some things that you're looking at. Oh, I could do that. Or I could start this business. Or I could take advantage of that opportunity. I don't know if that opportunity, it's a scam or not, but it seems promising. And take a look to see if you're trying to figure it out. You're wanting to know what the answer is. Now, this is something that seems perfectly natural to us. We were taught this in school. Sit and rack our brains, fill it up with information, and try to, compare that information, analyze it, and figure things out. Now, all the brain is it's basically like a hard drive. It stores information. And it's good to use for things like if I ask what your telephone number is, your email address. That's information that you can look up in your database and go, okay, my number is blah, 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 blah. And that's it. But when you try to access all this information to figure out something like, well, how do I become abundant? Or how do I solve this particular problem in my life? 99% of the time, your mind does not have that answer. If your mind had the answer, you probably wouldn't be in the problem in the first place. You wouldn't be sitting there wondering, how do I do it? You would already know. And if you take a look at this particular situation or opportunity that you're looking at to create more abundance, wealth in your life, see if your mind has a definitive answer. It knows what to do. Now, it might have some ideas. It might say, well, it could be this, it could be that, but you don't know. And it's just kind of yanking you around. If you did know, you could take action and you can manifest it right now. But right now, it's pretty clear your mind doesn't have an answer, does it? And look at what inevitably happens when you get into asking your mind and it doesn't have an answer, and you try harder, and you look in more places, you try to add more information to it. Oftentimes, you end up just in a dead end, in a roadblock. I tried this, I tried that, I still don't have an answer. And then what do you end up doing, inevitably? You beat yourself up, right? You're hard on yourself. You're down on yourself. Oh, I can't do it. I'm no good. Right? It's like almost foolproof. Once we get involved in our mind, we're trying to figure it out, it just leads us down a path where we end up beating ourselves up. Haven't you seen this pattern repeat again and again and again and again in your life? Now let me ask you this. How does it help you to beat yourself up? What does that solve? Does that get you closer to your goal? Now, I know some of us masochists, we'd like to think that beating ourselves up motivates us, pushes us into action. But hey, that's not a fun way to get results. And usually it doesn't work, like 9 times out of 10. Doesn't work at all. It just digs us into a deeper hole, into a pit of despair. So clearly, it doesn't benefit you to beat yourself up. And see if you've been beating yourself up for not being able to do something to improve your financial situation. See if you've been hard on yourself, criticizing yourself, or just feeling like you're stupid or you're unlucky. There's something wrong with you. Have you? And again, how does that help you? It doesn't. And here's the $1,000,000 question. Who's doing that? You are. Now, if you're doing it, and it's not helping you, not moving you closer to your goal, but further away, now it's the time to get wise. Make a smart decision. I'm going to be positive and love myself, or I'm going to be negative and beat myself up. What do you decide? See, it's your decision. See, you're doing it. You're the one who's beating yourself up. So you can change that course right now. What do you decide? Do you decide to be positive, or do you decide to be negative? Well, I'm assuming you're deciding to be positive. So, since it's your decision, it's always your decision, you're the one who's in charge, right now in this moment, could you let go of disapproving of yourself? And could you let go of disapproving of yourself a little bit more? And could you let go of disapproving of yourself a little bit more? And could you let go of disapproving of yourself a little bit more? And could you let go of disapproving of yourself a little bit more? And even more. And even more. And could you let go of being so hard on yourself? Could you let go of feeling so bad about yourself? Maybe judging yourself. Telling yourself how inferior you are. How dumb you are. Even if it's subtle. It's just like a self-image that you're holding in mind about yourself. Who's holding on to that image? You are. It's your picture. It's your head. Could you let that picture go? And could you let go of disapproving of yourself a little bit more? And a little bit more. And even more. And even more. And even more. And could you let go of disapproving of yourself even more? And even more. And how does that feel? Lighter? You bet. And see, now you're moving in the right direction. And who did this? You did. See, it's up to you to take this weight off of your shoulders. And it's up to you to decide, hey, the smartest thing I can do is love myself. No matter what is going on, no matter what I have or don't have. Because it's silly to beat myself up, and it's silly to keep asking something that doesn't have an answer and getting frustrated with it because it doesn't have an answer and getting frustrated with myself. I'm just letting all that go. And look at how much lighter you feel just by making the simple decision to let it go. Now, since the smart thing is to love yourself, could you love yourself a little bit? Just give yourself a little bit of love and approval. No reason, just because. And could you love yourself a little bit more? Just because you can. And could you love yourself a little bit more? And even more. And could you love yourself even more? And even more. And even more. And how does that feel? Does that feel lighter? You bet it does. When you make that decision, I'm doing it. I'm just loving myself. Just because. You immediately feel lighter. And now the proof that you're moving in the right direction, other than a light feeling, that's proof enough. But in addition to that, take a look at this opportunity or this thing that you're pondering about doing to achieve your goal, to be wealthy. And see if you have some more clarity about it. Maybe you have some clarity to say, oh, no, that's not going to work. That's not a good idea. And that's fair enough. Then you don't have to mess around with it. You don't have to wonder about it anymore. Carry around that idea. Should I, shouldn't I? Because that's just keeping you focused on a question you can't answer rather than finding out where the answer really is. Or you could look at that and say, oh, you know what? I can't do that. And now you can move forward and take action. You don't have to sit around and mess around with your mind anymore. You can just jump right into it and do it. And that's what it's all about. It's not about thinking about it. It's just doing it. Action always happens now. Manifestation always happens now. It doesn't happen in here. Because up here is never in the now. Up here is off in the future and lost in the past. You get out of here, you're just in the now. Either you manifest it or you take action and you manifest it. That's it. And that's the simplicity of manifesting. And as a lot of you know, Lester Levinson said a number of times that if there's any problem with this method here that we do, it's that it's simple and it's easy. And manifesting great wealth is simple and easy. The main thing is get out of your mind. That's where all the complications are. And even if the action seems very complex, if you're not in your mind, you just fall right into the flow of it, and you can do the most complex things without even thinking about it. It just comes naturally to you, because that is the higher knowingness part of you. And see, the part of you right now that has the clarity, that's the part of you that's more intelligent than your mind. That's the part of you that has all the answers. And that's the part of you, even right now, when you're looking at your ability to manifest wealth, it's a little bit more positive. It's a little bit more clear, like a, yes, yeah, I can do it. See, that's your greater intelligence. And you got to get your mind out of the way. You got to get your ego out of the way. And you can manifest great things easily. So keep working on this. Keep erasing that mind. Keep recognizing that every time you're in that mind, it just leads you into a dead end. Don't fall for that trap. Keep working at it. Keep digging out the thoughts and feelings. Keep doing this good work, clearing your mind. And you're going to have all the happiness and all the abundance that you're looking for.